This video will discuss Chapter 7.1, Fractions and Percents. I'm going to start with this problem. And if you're looking at a problem like this, I'm going to change these two percents into fractions. So one thing that I want you to kind of think about is this word percent, right? And if you were to break it up like this, per means for every, and cent, think of words like century. Think about how much a cent is worth in American dollars. Okay, this means 100. So this is for every 100. So if you think of this as for every 100, the idea is that this, the percent sign, is telling us that it's out of 100. So this as a fraction is going to be 60 over 100. Now I need to reduce that into simplest form. And so some people can see how you could divide this, or what you would divide this by. For other people, it's not quite as easy, but the idea is if I divide 20 over 20, I end up with 3 over 5. Right? So I'm just going to kind of keep reducing. Maybe you don't see that, you divide by 5, or you divide by 4, you can divide by 2, and you just kind of keep going until you get yourself down to 3 over 5. On this problem, again, 12% is the same as 12 over 100. And I can reduce that. Both of them have a 4, they both have a 2 in common, but they also both have a 4 in common. If I divide the top by 4 and the bottom by 4, I end up with 12% in simplest form. Now, what if I want to go the other way? We're going from fraction to percent. So there are a couple ways to solve it. I'm going to show you one way here, and then we'll talk about another way that might work for some of you as well. If this means as a percent, what I need to do is figure out, okay, what is this? 1 out of 4 is what out of 100? And so go from 4 to 100, I had to multiply by 25, so I'm going to take times 25 to the top. And so it is 25 over 100, which means that it is the same as 25%. So once I get it out of 100, that becomes my percent. Okay, same thing down here. I want to turn this into a fraction out of 100. To get from here to here, I'm going to multiply by 20, which means I need to take this and I need to multiply by 20. 6 times 20 is 120, which means this is 120%. Now, some people panic because this is over 100%, but this number here was over 1. Right? And if 1 is 100%, a number that's over 1 would have to be over 100%. Okay, and so this way will always work. Take it and turn it into a fraction. You know, instead of reducing, go the opposite direction and make sure that 100 is your number that is in the denominator, and whatever your numerator is then becomes your percentage. Right? This is my percentage. Now, there's another way to solve this type of problem. I'll leave this one here for a second. Another way, if that way doesn't necessarily make the most sense to you, is I could turn this into a cross multiplication problem. And again, this one, some of you may already know what the percent is, so I purposely picked a number that, or a fraction that you might already know the answer to, so you could see how this would work. So I'm going to take this and multiply across, and this and multiply across, and I end up with 300 equals 4x. Now, to solve for x, what I would need to do is divide both sides by 4, and I find out that x equals 75. Okay, now keep in mind that's not my final answer, because remember I need to turn this to a percent, and 75 isn't necessarily a percent, but my answer is going to be whatever x equals as a percentage. Okay, these two ways are very similar. I mean, you can see this way, and then you can see this way. I mean, it's the same. You can't see it if I drop it. Now you can see it. Okay, you can see that either way I'm trying to get 100 as my denominator. Right? Here's the other way. Still got 100 as the denominator. It's just this way you are cross-multiplying, and this way you're just kind of, you know, doing the opposite of reducing a fraction. You're increasing the fraction. All right, that's all I got for you for Chapter 7.1. Please don't forget to do the problems on the bottom of the page. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in class.